Step into the shadows, Second Life. Panic number 1 brings us My Gun is the Jury, a tale where hard-boiled Dick's justice is as crude as his tie. Get ready for bullets, babes, and belly laughs at Pan Galactic Cafe. Saxon Sadism Department Private Eye Division. The papers say I'm a kill-crazy Seamus. Well, I am. Do you think I like the rats that prey on the good people in this town? Do you think I like the killers that crawl out through the loopholes in the law? Do you think I like the dregs of humanity that sit like parasites upon the back of society and take advantage of the crawling, stumbling machine called justice? Do you? Well, you're darn right I like 'em. 'Cause if it weren't for them, I'd be out of business. Me? I'm Mike Hammerslammer. I'm a private eye. I track down those rats, those killers, those dregs, and I shoot. I shoot to kill. I don't fool around with time-wasting courtroom trials. Instead, my gun is the jury. Pot Chamber, Captain of Homicide, looked up as I sauntered dapperly through the door. He's dead, Mike. The killer carved the nose off of 45 and fired low, where there's not much left of him below the navel. Know him? He polished my car once. He was a good kid. I liked him. From now on, it's a race. I want that killer for myself. I looked down at what was left of the kid. You're mean. You're dealing yourself in, Mike? That's right. Pot, listen, or whatever your name was. I'm going to get the guy that did this. I swear it. He won't sit in the hot seat. He won't hang. A twisted smile twisted across my twisted face. He'll die exactly as you died, with a sawed-off jig slug in the gut, a little below the belly button, a dum-dum that goes in clean and comes out like a flying saucer, leaves a hole so big you could push a fist through. Please, Mike, you make me sick. I make myself sick, Pot, but those idiots out there buy this stuff. They eat it up. They love it. The gorier the better. This and sex. Crazy, mixed-up idiots. Bent lithely, scooping up the matchbook from the blood-soaked rug, I started out. I'll see you, Pot. I'm going after that killer, and when I get him, he won't hang. He won't sit in a hot seat. He'll die exactly as... All right already. All right. So go already. Get him already. I slammed the door behind me, and I examined the matchbook. There was writing written on it. A clue. Absolutely. Now if I could only read. Maybe she could help me. She slided down the hall towards me, her soft, curvaceous body seeking freedom from the restraining fabric of her tight-fitting dress. Actually, she was a fat slob. I beg your pardon, my name is Mike Hammerslammer. I'm a private investigator. How did you like you investigate me, honey? She started undressing. I shot her. Pot chambers came flying out of the apartment as she slumped to the floor. Mike, who is she? Why'd you shoot her? Her name is Sadie McIntosh. She was wanted in Tahiti for the murder of a coconut grower. I recognized her by the beauty mark on her left shoulder. I looked down at Sadie and a twisted smile twisted across my twisted face. You shouldn't have started the strip act, baby. Then I wouldn't have to be the beauty mark. That coconut grower was my friend. I ate a Peter Paul's mounds once, made from his coconuts. She gurgled up at me, spitting blood. She was still alive. I ran my heel down into her face and did a graceful pirouette on her nose, grinding in. You're a killer, Sadie. I hate killers. Die, Sadie. Die. Die, die, die. Dum, dum. Oh, Mike, please. You make me sick. I told you, Pot. I make myself sick. But I'm supposed to be like this. Those fiends out there love me like this. Crazy, mixed-up fiends. I left Pot and dead Sadie and the morgue boys and skipped downstairs to my heap. This is my heap. It looks like a 41 Buick, but under that hood is a General Electric turbojet supercharged airplane engine. I flung open the door. No dumb highway patrol cop can catch me. I can do over 40 in this heap. Hello, Mike. She sat in the front seat with her legs crossed, revealing their shapeliness, the soft, smooth curves encased in nylons, flowing excitedly upward and under the veil of blank satin that was her skirt. Don't ask questions, Mike. Try my penthouse apartment. Everything is waiting. Everything you like, including me. so don't ask questions. She put her hand to my quivering, drool-covered lips. I studied her. She was a Venus, a goddess, a queen. Her eyes were pools of blood flame, her lips soft and inviting, her body. I don't understand. How can everything I like be at your penthouse, waiting for me, including you, when you're here? Don't try to figure it out, Mike. It's bigger than both of us. Let's go. Take a ride at the next. I eased her out of my heat. She sat there on the sidewalk pouting. A warm smile wormed across my warm face. Not now, honey, maybe later. But not now. I'm busy. Anytime, Mike. Anytime you say the word. Just ring up Plaza 539-429-409-178-2750-313 and ask for Stella. I'll be waiting. I made a mental note of Stella's phone number and zoomed away. Pretty girl, Stella. Later, when I'd finished chasing down the murdering rat, I'd look her up. But right now I had business. I sped across town to the dock section, to the address on the match-covered book. This is the place. Move along, buddy. Can't you read? That's a no parking sign. I flashed my PI card at the flat-foot and his eyes popped. You're Mike Hammerslammer? The kill-crazy private eye? You're him? You? Yeah, that's me. Now do I park? Of course, Mr. Hammerslammer. Of course. Go right on ahead. Of course. Park right there. Of course. Thanks. I eased out of my heat, past the ogling beat pounder, and pushed open the door of the gin mill. The joint was jammed with tough-looking mugs who would slit their own mothers' throats if the price was right. All eyes followed me as I slided leisurely across the sawdust-covered floor to the bar and tossed the matchbook down upon the sticky, smelly surface. I wonder if you can tell me, if it's not too much trouble, if this matchbox comes from your place. Hey, boys, dig the swell. He wants info. I grabbed the sloppy-looking whiskey slinger by his grimy collar and pulled his face down to the muzzle of the .45 I'd whipped from my shoulder holster. Please, let's not make things difficult. Just speak into the microphone. Take him, boys. I caught the reflection of movement behind me in the bar mirror and moved quickly enough so the knife skimmed past my ear and buried into a 7-inch blade in the bartender's head. Sorry you missed, Deadeye. The big mug behind me just stood there stupidly, staring at the bartender as he slumped over the bar, heaving his guts out. I lashed out with the muzzle of my .45, catching the big mug across the mouth, knocking his teeth down his throat and splitting his lips open so he drooled claret. Nobody tries that on Mike Hammerslammer. I looked around. The place was empty. The toughies had taken a powder. Sure, they're all like that. Show 'em a little blood and they run like scared rabbits. I went through the big mug's pockets as he lay there gurgling. A chain on a bicycle, an old fish hook and some string, a marble, a dead frog. Good Lord! I pocketed what I found and left. I crossed the sidewalk to my heat. The parking ticket hung on the windshield. Why the dirty... Hello, big boy. I pocketed the parking ticket, cursing the flat-foot softly to myself, and turned. She hipped over to me from the shadows, her dress clinging to her body as if it were soaking wet. Actually, it was wet. It's damp down by the docks. I saw what you did, handsome. You're a real man. I go for real men. I'm busy, sister. Beat it. She slid her arms around me, snaking up real close. She grinned evilly. Make me beat it. You. I eased my gun out of my pocket, snapped off the safety, pulled back the hammer, and pressed the trigger. She looked real surprised as the bullet tore through her chest and she slid to the wet pavement. Hot Chambers screamed up in the squad car. Who'd have called there was a brawl here, Mike? I figured it was you, and another one? Her name was Mildred Muckle. She was a dope pusher. A kid died because of her. I grinned a twisted grin at dead Mildred. The kid's father was my friend. He sold me a newspaper once. I swore I'd get her for him. Sorry, Mildred, you made a big mistake hugging me. I felt those H capsules in your money belt. We identified the murder victim, Mike. His name was Irving Snodgrass. You were right. He was a car polisher. Things started to make sense. I left Pot and dead Mildred in the morgue, boys, and I nosed my heat back across town to the Acme garage. The place was locked up tighter than a drum. The third skeleton key on my ring let me in. I've been expecting you, Hammerslammer. Huh? Is the big mugs from the gin mill. His mouth was all bandaged. He held a rod in his big ugly paws. I figured you'd shut up here after I came to and found you frisked me. Come on, give back what you took. You mean this? You never knew what hit him. I moved too fast. My 45 was out and barking before he could blink. I wiped his evil grin right off his face. No, not that. Choke. The other thing. The bullet had gone clean through his head and slammed into a metal drum. The liquid in the drum pouring out over him, mixing with the blood, a black, shiny liquid, mixing with the scarlet ooze. He deserved it, Mike. Eh? I spun around. She stood in the doorway to the office, smiling. She came towards me, her arms extended, her supple body undulating under the tight dress. Now the whole show could be ours, Mike. All ours. All you have to do is get rid of the big wheel, the top brass, the head of the racket. There's nobody left. What about you, honey? She put her arms around me, pressing her soft lips against mine. Me, Mike, I'm yours. Together, we'll run the show. Sorry, baby. Pop came in as she slid to the concrete beside the big mug, her face frozen in a death mask, the bullet from my 45 in her heart. Murder victim worked here as a car polisher. Mike, another one? Her name was Emma Grutzel. Her husband was an artist. He was my friend. He lent me some linseed oil once. She poisoned him. I swore I'd get her. All the pieces were beginning to fit. There was only one piece left. The killer. I left Pot and dead Emma and the morgue boys and phoned up Stella. Mike, darling, I've been hoping you'd call. I decided to come up to see what you got waiting for me, Stella. I could hear her little squeal of joy. Then she whispered, I got a little country place, Mike. It's only a short drive. Where are you? I'll pick you up. I'm at the corner of Smith and Wesson. Stella's big black convertible eased up to the curb, and I got in. She looked at me hungrily. How come sudden change of heart, Mike? I've been working on a case. I ran up against a stone wall. Thought I'd relax. Stella guided her sleek caddy out of town and along the concrete highway. Pleasure before business, eh? You might say so. All the way upstate I kept trying to fit that last piece into the jigsaw. Stella nudged me, shocking me out of my Riviere. We're here, honey. Come on in. Huh? Oh, yeah. She moved around the cabin, lighting candles, fluffing up the bearskin rug, making everything very romantic. I tried concentrating on her, but I kept thinking about poor dead Irving. Here, Mike, drink up. Maybe that'll put you in the mood. Thanks, baby. I looked down at the amber liquid in the glass, and then I thought of the black liquid pouring from the drum, mixing with the big mug's blood. And then I thought of Sadie and Mildred and Emma. On, Mike, drink up. I'm, waiting. Oh, sure, Stella, sure. I got up and I sauntered over to the cabin window and looked out to Stella's black caddy parked in the moonlight. On, Mike, drink up. Let's live it up a bit. Sure, baby, sure. The moonlight played tricks on the car. Part of it was shiny, part of it I sniffed, and then suddenly everything made sense. I spun around. Stella was behind me. She was taking off her clothes. Come get me, Mike. Drink up first. Yeah, Stella. I splashed the drink across Stella's face. You want me to drink up this poison, eh, Stella? Mike! I pulled my gun. I get it now, Stella. You were running a stolen car racket, shipping them to Tahiti. That's where Sadie came in. And Emma supplied the paint formula that her husband had invented so you could repaint the cars. Only you weren't satisfied. You had to smuggle dope along with them. That was Mildred's part. The big mug tipped me off to that when I found this lubrication sticker in his pocket with a packet of 8 stuck to the glued side. Stella moved, but I moved faster. I let her have it, right in the gut, a little below the belly button. I stood over Stella, grinning my twisted grin. Irving found out about your racket while he was polishing that caddy out there, so you killed him. Beautiful Stella, you thought I'd fall for you and knock myself off. I looked down, and Stella's blouse fell off. I gasped. Good Lord. Stella was a man. And when I saw Stella's manly physique, I started to cry. Stella, don't die, don't die. We'll have the whole show, just the two of us, Stella. Don't, Stella. But Stella died, never even realizing that I, Mike Hammerslammer, was a woman. And so the jury's out. Literally. My gun as the jury wraps up with a bang. But hold on, TV's next, and it's a real strife show. Stay tuned. Lights, camera, chaos. Panic number one now serves up This Is Your Strife, where a star's life gets the roast it deserves. Tune in for skeletons tumbling out of Pan Galactic Cafe. Sloppy sentimental department. Why twist that radio dial? Why fiddle with that TV channel selector? Why not see the real thing instead? Come to a tear-stained network studio. Sit down in tear-stained seat and watch in a tear-stained flesh that happy, jovial, fun-loving master of ceremonies, Ed Ralphwords, as he brings you that gay, touching, sometimes happy, sometimes sad, but always nauseatingly sentimental radio and TV program. This is Your Strife. Hello, folks. How y'all? This is Ed Ralphwords, ready to bring you another tearful edition of the program that America cries over. This is Your Strife. As usual, some lucky member of our studio audience who has no idea that we have done this will be brought up to our sob-sticky stage and presented with the story of his strife. So I'll just walk down into the studio audience, and as I look around the studio audience, folks, I spot a familiar face. A face all America loves. That upstanding citizen, that honest, persevering, lovable star of stage and screen, who has absolutely no idea that we have done this, Mr. Melvin Melville. So where's my check? And now if you follow me, Mr. Melville, up to the stage. Later, idiot. And sit down on that sofa there. We'll begin. Not later, chum. Now. I want my check now. Tell me, Mr. Melville, are you surprised? If I get my check for showing up here, I'll be surprised. Well, here it is, Mr. Melville. Between the covers of this volume, our research staff, without your knowledge, has compiled a barrel full of tears and laughs, happy memories, and sad ones, too. Don't bother opening it. I stayed till I get paid. This is then, Mr. Melvin Melville, Is Your Strife. Shut up, Mutt. The check's in the book. What a beautiful volume. Oh, you shouldn't have done it. Let's see. As we open the book, we find that you were born, Melvin, in the little town or Pigsty, Utah, on July 19th, 1909. A bouncing baby boy. How did you know that? Oh, isn't this wonderful? Listen now, Mel, to this voice. It should bring back memories. Hello, Mel. Remember when your wife broke her leg just before she disappeared, and I said it, and I also brought you into this world? Yes, my family doctor, old Doc Fransby Hacker. Open the curtains. Hello, Mel. Haven't seen you in 10 years. Gosh, Doc, that brings me memories. Gosh, it's good to see you. Gosh. Good to see you, Mel. Tell me, did they ever find your wife? And now listen to this voice from your past, Melvin Melville. I pulled your first baby tooth, Mel. I also made your wife an upper plate before she disappeared. Oh no, it can't be. Harry Yankum, my hometown dentist. Open the curtains. Did they ever find your wife, Mel? Yes, Melvin Melville. You were born and raised in Pigsty, Utah. Remember when you used to go to the corner drugstore for sodas and ice cream? Listen to this voice from your past. Hello, Mel. I sold your first razor blade when you were 16. Last time you were in my store, you bought a bottle of arsenic. I know. That's old prescription pill stuff for the drugstore man back in Pigsty. Open up. Howdy, Melvin. Say, did they ever find your wife? When you were 23, Melvin, you married the prettiest girl in Pigsty, Emma Lou Freebish, and now we come to the sad part of your life. Listen, Mel. You may not remember me, Mel, but it was through me, indirectly, that you became independently wealthy. That voice. I know that voice. Who is it? I told you a big fat insurance policy on your wife a few weeks before she disappeared. Open the curtains, Mel. This is C. Small print of the Consolidated Life Insurance Company. Remember him? That's right, Melvin Melville. Luckily, just before your darling wife Emma Lou disappeared, Mr. Smallprint sold you a policy on her life. And after 7 years, you received $35,000, enough to take you out of Pigsty and bring you here to Hollywood to fame and fortune. Never did find your wife, Mel. Sorry. Now listen to this voice, Mel. Hello, Mel. We live next door to you and your wife in Pigsty before she disappeared and you went away. Remember us? Those nice old neighbors of mine, the gossipers. Come out, Mr. and Mrs. Gossiper. Hello, Mel. Remember us? Wish you were back next door again, Mel. You and Emma Lou. Yep, never had no trouble with you two. Always nice and quiet, except for the night your wife disappeared. What was going on? Some kind of old party? Oh, that's screaming and carrying on. Gee, it's nice to see you folks again. Take your place in Mr. Melville's past, Mr. and Mrs. Gossiper, and we'll go on. Now listen to this voice, Mel. Howdy, Mel. Remember me? Last time you were in my store, you bought a shovel and a bag of quicklime. Texas Nails, Pigsty's hardware store owner. Correct, Mel. How you been, son? Say they ever find your wife? Here's an embarrassing voice from the past, Mel. Listen. Oh, Mel, I caught you speeding once, heading out of Pigsty with your wife, Emma Lou, asleep in the back seat. Had to give you a ticket. Officer Clancy C.O. Clancy, that's his voice. Right, Mel, and here's the very ticket Officer O'Clancy gave you, dated October 9th, 1943, 11:30 p.m. Howdy, Mel. Remember how embarrassed you were? You didn't want me to wake up your wife? Heh, who would, officer? And now, hold it, Ed. It's time for a word from our sponsors. Look, give me the check already. When I give you the book at the end of the program. Now, shh. Ladies, here it is. The miracle of modern cosmetics. The Conic Cardinal's No Smudge Lipstick. It can't be eaten off, it can't be kissed off, it can't be washed off. Once you pick a color, you're stuck with it. See how easily it's applied? Just put it on the usual sloppy way and put on your old-fashioned smeary lipstick, then blot like this. Then throw the handkerchief away, because Conic Cardinal's No Smudge Lipstick will never come off the handkerchief either, no matter how much you scrub. And now back to Ed Ralphwards, and this is your strife. Okay, Ed? Thanks, Mary, or Jean, or... Hey, hold that car up where I can see it. Mary, and now on to This Is Your Strife. Melvin Melville, listen to your voice from your past. Arf, arf, not... Oh, no. Yes, Mel, it's your old dog Rover. Open the curtains. Grrr. That dog never did like me. And here's the old man who sold it to you, Sam Sucker. Some mutt. All he does is dig. Every day for 10 years he's done nothing but dig. Grrr. What's the matter, Rover? Heh. Don't you recognize your old master? Say something to him, Mel. Must I? He never did like me. All he does is run out in the morning and come back at night with a bone he dug up. Arf, arf. Thank you, Mr. Sam Sucker. And now, if you'll take your place, I got a whole carton full of bones that Mug dug up. Hey, Martha, bring up that carton. Mr. Sucker, this is highly irregular. Heh. Never you mind, Sam. You go right ahead and show Mr. Melville what kind of mutt he sold us. Yeah, here, look. Bones. Grrr. Heh. Thank you, Mr. Sucker. And now, look at this. He even dug up an upper plate. Just 1 minute. Let me see that. Please, Mr. Yankum. Heh. The program. This is the upper plate I made for Emma Lou Melville just before she disappeared. This thigh bone. This is Emma Lou's thigh bone. I know. It's been broken and mended. I'll set that bone. I'd know it anywhere. These bones have been partially dissolved by quicklime. I sold Nolan Melville quicklime before Emma Lou disappeared. And a shovel, too. And he sought a bottle of arsenic from me. That night of the party, he kept screaming, drink it, I'll shove it down your throat. Was that ticket he got for speeding dated October 9th, 1943, 11:30 p.m.? Heh. Let's see. Why, yes, Mr. Smallprint, it is. That was the night Emma Lou Melville disappeared. That was the night of the party. That was the day I sold him quicklime and the shovel. That was the day I sold him the arsenic. She wasn't asleep in the back seat. Emma Lou was dead. No wonder you were speeding. You were hurrying out of town to bury her. Look, keep the check. I'm getting out of here. Hold it, Melvin Melville. Listen to this voice. Hello, Melvin. Lucky thing I came to the broadcast tonight. That's funny. I can't place the voice. Open the curtains. Meet Homer Straightpath, the district attorney of Pigsty County. Melvin Melville, I arrest you for the murder of your wife, Emma Lou Melville. Take him away. My agent warned me to stay off this program. He warned me. This, Melvin Melville, is your strife. Good night, folks. What a life. or strife. This is your strife leaves us in stitches. Next, a fairy tale with a bite. Don't stray from the path. Into the woods we go, Second Life friends. Panic #1 twists Little Red Riding Hood into a tale of wily wolves and wild laughs. Follow the breadcrumbs at Pan Galactic Cafe. Grim Fairy Tale Department. Come away, dear leader. Come away from your humdrum day-to-day existence. Leave your cares and responsibilities, midterms behind you. Escape to your childhood, to your carefree days again. Enjoy now the sequel to your favorite fairy tale, Little Red Riding Hood. Once upon a time, long time ago, a beautiful chick named Gwendolyn moved into town and proceeded to extract whistles and hoots from the local apothecary cowboys. Wow! Dig to Jane! Butt stacked! Va 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 voom! Gwendolyn, however, would have nothing to do with the town Romeos. She completely ignored their gentle attempts at gaining her fond attention. I was about a date, babe. What's the matter, babe? You stuck up? Come on, sourpuss, crack a smile. Roses are red, violets are blue. Horse's neck, do you, babe? Instead, much to the wolf-pack's chagrin, Gwendolyn turned her fond affections upon, of all people, the town schnook, shy, retiring, self-conscious. Melvin? That square? Yep, that's the deal. She's going out with Melvin tonight. Melvin, of course, was equally as surprised as the operators whom he'd always envied. You want me to take you out, Gwendolyn? That's right, Melvin. You're my type. You I like. Them, but you I like. And so, as the stars twinkled overhead and the moon rose slowly reflecting in the still lake water, Melvin and Gwendolyn sat close beside each other in the cool grass by the shore. It's a nice night, Gwenny? It's a lovely night, Melvin. A night I look forward to. Melvin felt Gwendolyn press against him, felt her warm breath upon his cheeks, clouding his glasses. Can I ask you a very personal question, Gwenny? Let's not talk now, Melvin. The moon is coming up. Let's just... Felt the heavy odor of her perfume around him, making his head reel, his heart race madly, his asthma kick up. Just one thing, Gwenny. It's something I'm puzzled about. Look, honey, don't try to figure it out. It's bigger than the both of us. Why did you pick me? Gwenny. I mean, why me over all the other fellows who are much more handsome and experienced than I? Okay, folks, cool off. Buster'd rather talk. Stick around, though. Maybe we'll see some action later. I mean, why me? Why are there so many other... all right, I know what you mean. So I'll tell you why I picked you. So relax. Now, I make with a flashback, folks. Stick around. Melvin, when I was a little girl, I lived with my old lady and an old man in a crummy shack at the edge of thick forest. What is wrong, Gwendolyn? You seem unhappy. Nothing to do. I'm bored. In order to cheer me up, my father brought me a surprise. Look, Gwendolyn, a cape and a hood made of red velvet for riding. So who's got a horse? Besides, I hate red. I won't wear it. Daddy was always sweet and thoughtful like that. You'll wear it, I'll tan your hide and rip off your arm and beat you with the bloody stump. Suddenly, I like red all of a sudden. Suddenly. My old man was very insistent. I had to wear that miserable red velvet cape and hood day in and day out. I felt like Orphan Annie. The same crummy red outfit, month after month after month after... Red Riding Hood, come here, Red Riding Hood. Oh, come on, Ma, the name's Gwendolyn. Red Riding Hood, take this basket of fruits and vegetables and meats and hardware and auto parts and comic books to your dear sick grandmother who lives on the other side of the impenetrable... Gwendolyn, the name is Gwendolyn. What is with this Red Riding Hood nonsense? And don't stop talking to anyone along the way so that you'll be back in by nightfall. Understand, Red Riding Hood? Again with the Red Riding Hood. Look, see, birth certificate, see, Gwendolyn, cut out the Red Riding Hood stuff, huh? Goodbye, Gwendolyn. The name's Red Riding Hood. Bye. So off I went into the forest, tripping the light fantastic, dancing over the sunlit glades and moss-covered dells, lugging the basket full of pots and pans and sheets and pillowcases and jet plane fuselage sections for my dear sick grandma. Tum-ty-tum-tum, Chloe. Tum-ty-tum-tum-tum, Chloe. But alas and alack, somewhere between my own crummy shack and Grandma's hovel I got lost. The miserable red velvet riding hood slipped down over my eyes, and I missed a directional sign. I wandered around until it got dark and the moon came up. Oh dear, I am lost. What will Grandma say when I don't arrive with this basket of beer and pretzels and cold cuts and potato salad? That's you, Goldilocks? Red Riding Hood, stupid. That you, Red Riding Hood? There before me stood the most vicious-looking, slobbering, fanged, angry-eyed, bristling-haired wolf I'd ever seen. Where are you going, Red Riding Hood? Going to my grandma's house with a basket of knitting wool and crocheting yarn and textile machinery. Well, you're going the wrong way, Red Riding Hood. This isn't the way to your grandma's house. You missed your turn off to the back exit 2B, 29. Thanks, Wolf. Bye. Finally, I reached Grandma's house. I knocked on the door. Poor sick Grandma, obviously suffering from a bad case of horse throat, growled, "Come on in already. The door is unlocked." It is I, Grandma, Red Riding Hood. I brought you a basket of goodies, 45s, 38s, 2 Tommy guns, 4 M1 rifles, and an atomic cannon. Grandma looked strange, frightening, different than I'd remembered her. I tried to figure it out. Grandma, what for you got them big eyes? The better to see you with, my dear. You know that corny routine, Melvin. Grandma, how come the big ears? The better to hear you with, my pet. I went through the whole thing. Grandma, what's with the big mouth? The better to eat you with, my dear. Grandma sprang from her bed. Eat me? That's what you get for coming around here after dark, you dumb brat. And I saw that it wasn't Grandma at all, but a vicious-looking, slumbering, angry-eyed, bristly-haired wolf. Hee! Shh! The neighbors! Suddenly, just as the wolf was about to leap upon me and tear my young girlish flesh from my young girlish body under my young girlish Red Riding Hood, the woodsman arrived. Stand back, Red Riding Hood. If I was any further back, I'd be on the other side of this wall, smart guy. Shoot already. The woodsman took careful aim and BAM! Higher, idiot, you missed. The woodsman's second shot was a little better. The wolf dropped dead at my feet. And this is the end of the flashback, folks. Stick around, you'll get some action now. Melvin stared at beautiful Gwendolyn sitting beside him, bathed in the light of the full moon. Then, you was the original Little Red Riding Hood who was almost ate up by the awful wolf. That's me, Buster. And that's why you didn't date any of the boys, 'cause you don't like wolves. That's right, Buster. Gee, it was lucky for you the woodsman came along to save you and your grandma. What's the matter, Buster? You got rocks in your head? Gwendolyn grinned up at the moon. Huh? When the woodsman shot the wolf, he shot Grandma, and her fangs glistened and her face grew hairy. Grandma was a wolf, Buster. A werewolf. Why do you think my family lives in crummy shacks on the edges of thick forests? You mean, as she leapt upon Melvin, ripping, tearing, snarling? Right again, Buster. Everyone in my family becomes a werewolf when they mature, and I'm no exception. Good Lord. This, Melvin Buster, is your strife. Good night, folks. The Red's basket is empty, but the laughs aren't. Little Red Riding Hood ends with a howl. Now a Christmas crash in Corning. Brace yourselves. Ho, ho, ho. Hold on tight, Second Life revelers. Panic number 1 unwraps the night before Christmas, where Santa's sleigh hits the skids in a holiday havoc fest. Gather round at Pan Galactic Cafe. Poetry Department, Seasonal Division. Hear the bells, kitty, the tinkling of tinsel, the carols echoing in the cold night. Yep, it's the Xmas season again. It means ribbons and gay wrappings and presents for everybody. And bills for everybody. And it means you'll be hearing that poem again, over and over and over again, till you can scream that perennial favorite, The Night Before Christmas. 'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were all nestled up in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. And Mamma in her kerchief, and I in my cap, had just settled down to a long winter's nap. Ah, my little cat. And when out on the lawn there arose such a clatter, I sprang from my bed to see what was the matter. By Jove, I'm breaking through the clatter barrier. Anyway, to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutters and threw up the sash. How much is that doggy in the window? Woof, woof, woof. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave a luster of midway to the objects below. But what to my wonder eyes should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be Saint Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Yeah, censored. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancer and Vixen. On Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen. To the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Now dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricane fly, when they meet with an obstacle, mount to the sky. So up to the house top the corsairs they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. Occupancy of more than 89 people, 11 midgets, and 2 children is unlawful and dangerous. Santa Claus. And then in a twinkle I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. And as I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. Tennis anyone? He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. Mammy, Mammy, I'd walk a half a mile to see Edison Sullivan smile, my Mammy. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes how they twinkled, his dimples how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up like a bow, and the beard on his chin was as white as the snow. This is what I get for shooting my mouth off. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth. Need blood? Call Plasma 32221 and New Jersey Bigelow 84211. From her to a fraternity. And the smoke had encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump and right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk. And laying his finger aside of his nose and giving a nod up the chimney, he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team gave a whistle, and away they all flew like down on a thistle. But I heard him exclaim, as he drove out of sight, Merry Christmas all, and to all a good night. And this comic, that actually would have been, it's mostly visual and all that, so a lot of that was missing there, and I apologize about that. But, and so, Christmas collapses in a glorious chaos. The Night Before Christmas from Panic #1 leaves us merry and mad, had you been able to actually read it. Thanks for joining me at Pan Galactic Cafe, and I hope you enjoyed these. See you next time, and good night.